All right, welcome to our Monday night team call. It is, what is the date today? Oh my gosh, August 19th. I seriously cannot even handle it. It is getting so close to September. It's crazy. Tonight, I am so pumped to hear from our coach, Kaylee. She came to me, gosh, what, 2.5? Actually, I mean, she was one of my very first Instagram followers. Let me just give you a little backstory of us, real brief, because I'm sure that she's probably going to talk a little bit about it. But she was one of my very first Instagram followers. And you know how we talk about, don't ever discredit anyone, keep inviting, all of that. She wanted to be in my challenge group. She was scared of buying the challenge pack. I don't know how many times this girl would be like, okay, send me the link. I'm going to order the challenge pack. I'm going to do this. And then she didn't do it. And it was probably a couple of years that went by that this whole cycle came until a couple of years ago when she was like, finally in. And mind you too, guys, I would support her if she would ask me questions, if she would do anything. I love this girl. I'm like, she will one day be part of my tribe. You know how I talk about making your dream coach list and never erasing people off of there? She was on my dream coach list. And look what happens. When she finally did sign up, I'll be real. I was like, okay, let's see if she does it this time. And she did it. She rocked it out of the gate, followed my lead. And here she is tonight, about to be speaking to you guys, literally about her story, about her, kind of everything that has happened to her over the last year, I'd say. And I'm just really, really proud to call her coach, to call her friend, to call her leader on Legacy United. She is a 2-star Diamond Premier coach on Legacy and Success Club legend, guys. She just has it all. So Kaylee, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you, and I am excited. Grab your pen and your paper, guys, and take some notes. Let's get this call started.
Okay, so can everyone hear me?
You're good to go.
Okay, awesome. All right, so first of all, okay, awesome, thank you. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thanks for hopping on tonight, and I'm really excited to just share my story and my experience, and hopefully help, guide you a little bit and just support you if you are going through something similar. Maybe you might find yourself in a similar situation in the future, or just feeling in a bit of a slump and you're not sure how to get yourself out of it and just need a little push or a little extra help. So I just want to give you a little context onto why I am speaking tonight. And the last 10 months have been probably the hardest season of my life. And I struggled with a lot of stress, severe anxiety. Looking back, I definitely feel that I had a mild case of depression. And all of this was stemming from a very toxic work environment. And I was struggling getting up every morning. I was dreading Mondays. Sunday nights made me physically sick. I lived for Fridays, and I was literally experiencing panic attacks when I would go to the entrance of my workplace. So that's kind of where I was. And if you know me at all, I am a very positive person by nature. And experiencing all of these emotions was new to me. I wasn't familiar with it. I never experienced it before. So I struggled with how to deal with it, how to navigate it, and I realized how detrimental this could be and how it creeped into every single aspect of my life, including my marriage and ultimately my business. And I want you, if there's one thing that you're going to take away from this call tonight, it's that I am still sitting here. I am still in this business. I am still showing up, and I pushed through. And I chose not to walk away. And we need to understand that we're all going to go through these moments in life. That's life. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have hard times. And you need to understand that it's temporary and you're going to get through it. Okay? So if you take away anything from that, it's that no one should walk away from this because you're dealing with something difficult right now. So I kind of broke this up into kind of 3 areas of focus. Okay, so I am a teacher. So this is kind of how I planned the call. I've got a little schedule for us. So I planned it in 3 areas of focus, and I believe that these are 3 things that not only helped me get my way out of where I was, but is helping me rebuild myself and rebuild my business at this point. So the first thing that I want to talk about is your vitals. And you probably have heard this from the first day you signed up as a coach, is you have to do the vital behaviors. You have to get out your tracker every single day and fill it out. And you have to create that consistency, that habit. Because I know personally for a fact that if I had never created that habit, when all of this started, I'd been coaching for about 1.5 years. So if I had not established that habit, I never would have done it. Because it was hard enough for me just to focus on, showing up for my own health and fitness, doing my nutrition and my workouts, and making sure that I was still inviting and following up and hitting Success Club. So if I didn't establish those habits, I wouldn't have done it. I know for a fact I would not have shown up because it's hard, but it has to be non-negotiable. The first day I signed up as a coach, I was told, you have to do your tracker and you have to hit Success Club if you want to move your business forward and be successful. So that was ingrained in my mindset early that it had to happen. So even though I was coming home from work like mentally and emotionally exhausted, I had to get this done because my passion for this business didn't disappear. My vision for where I wanted to take my business and my goals never disappeared. It was still there. It was like, it was kind of, I would say, snuffed out a little bit, but it was still there. And I knew it was still there. And that's why I had to continue to show up. And you owe it to yourself and your business. You owe it to your current customers, your current challengers, and you owe it to the people that you're talking with. Those people who want your help, you owe it to them that even though you're going through a difficult time, they maybe are too. So you can't devalue their hard time just because you're going through one yourself. And if there's one thing, looking back on all of this, something that I wish I would have done, I don't regret it because I don't think I was in the mental state to really share it, but it's to put it out there on social media. Use that one vital behavior that you have on that tracker, making a post. Share what you're going through, because it took me to the point where I actually removed myself from my situation by resigning from my job to share it. And it took me an entire day to write up a post, plus the help of my success partners, to put this on social media. But the thing that worried me was that I was always wanting to be this positive face. I wanted to just put out that positivity on social media because all the time we go on there and we see all these negative Nellies, right? They're blowing up our feeds about all their, issues or these petty little things that they're dwelling on. And I wanted to be that person that made someone smile when they came across my profile. So I felt if I shared what I was going through, that I would be like some sort of fraud. That they'd be like, oh, she's just been faking it this whole time. But what actually happened was I connected with more people. I can't even explain how many people reached out to me and said, I'm experiencing that too. I've been going through that too. Or I once was where you are. And that made me feel like that I wasn't by myself, that I wasn't going through this alone, which I had felt so isolated for 10 months of my life because I truly believed that I was the only one that was feeling like this. But in reality, there was all these followers that I had on Instagram or Facebook that were also going through it and felt like they couldn't talk about it. So I didn't become some sort of fraud. I became real and relatable. And I think that helped me connect with people I may never have even reached out to in the prior, right? So you need to use that social media part and speak to what you're going through because that's what's going to be relatable to people. That's what's going to resonate with whoever is visiting your profile on a daily basis. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Like I said, it took me a day and clicking post and then just not looking at social media for like 20 minutes because it scared me. So it's not going to be easy because no one, wants to put that out there. But I think it's really, really important. And you don't have to get down to the nitty gritty if you're not comfortable with it. But let people know that you have periods in your life too that are not your highlight reel. And I think that's really crucial. And when you're making sure you're showing up, make sure you're being authentic and you're being real about things because it's so easy to just put things on the shelf and not worry about them because I could have so easily just taken my business and be like, I'm just going to walk away for now. And then when this shit figures itself out, then I'll go back. But if I would have done that, I would have lost all the trust and the relationships that I had been building over the last year and a half. I would have lost that trust in them because I would have stopped showing up and I would have lost that credibility, right? So just remind yourself that you have to create those habits. Okay, number 2, mindset. You gotta get it in check. You have to. You have to get your mindset in check and you have to do PD. And I know my coach Val right now is probably being like, hallelujah, because if there is anything that I have had the biggest pushback about when it comes to coaching, it's PD. Because I never felt that I needed it. I didn't discredit it, but I definitely just didn't feel like I was going to benefit from it. Sure, I read the odd book here and there, but I didn't make it a consistent thing. But if there's anything that I have learned in the last 10 months is the things that you're telling yourself and the place you are mentally has the biggest role in every other part of your life. And one of the big defining moments for this for me was probably at the end of, it was either the end of October or the first week of November. I was sitting at work and it was one of those days where someone could have just looked at me the wrong way and I could have just burst into tears. But Val messaged me, and I don't know how she does this, but she always knows when to message you at the perfect time. And she messaged me and she said, do you realize that you could be 2019 Premier Coach? Do you realize that you could walk the stage at Summit in July? And I was like, no, I didn't, honestly, because I'm just trying to hit Success Club. And guys, even when I was struggling through all of this, I never once missed Success Club. Never once. I might have scraped by at the 30th of the month, but I made sure that I was helping those 3 people. So that was my focus. And as hard as that was, I never even looked at my elite points. It wasn't even on my radar because I had no idea. And she said, you need 18 elite points by December 31st. Like, this is doable. Do you realize you could do this? And I was like, okay, well, how do I get these elite points? We talked about it. She broke it down. I'm a list person. If I have something I can check off, I'll get it done. That's why the tracker is so awesome to me. So I went home and I wrote it all out. I put across the top all my elite points that I needed so I could check it off. I wrote out names of people who could help me get there. I wrote out how to get elite points. I broke it down week by week on how many points I needed per week to lock it in by December 31st. And I hustled my ass off. And even though I needed something positive, I think that's really what it was. I needed something to put my mind towards so I could forget about all the other stress and anxiety I was experiencing at work. And on Christmas Day, I locked that in, 2019 premiere. And I was so happy. And it wasn't even the fact that I got that title or that I, made this big plan and carried this piece of paper around with me till, I had it all figured out. It was the fact that when she messaged me on that day, I started saying to myself, I'm going to be a 2019 Premier Coach. I'm going to be a 2019 Premier Coach. In my mind, I was already a 2019 Premier Coach. And that's how I approached everything. Like, I was like, okay, I have to do this, this, and this because that's what I'm going to do. So you don't underestimate the power of the things that you are telling yourself. If you're waking up every day saying, I'm never going to hit Success Club, I can't help people, nobody wants to join me, then that's what's going to happen. But if you wake up with that positive mindset and you tell yourself, I'm an awesome recruiter, I'm going to rock Success Club, I'm going to have it locked in by the 5th, then you're going to hustle to make it happen. But you have to get your mindset in check. You have to do it for yourself, and you have to be mindful about what you're saying. And it can look different to everybody. If you like to read, get a book. If you're more of a podcast person, find a podcast you like. If you like to journal, get a gratitude journal, but it needs to be something that's going to work for you and that you're going to be able to make it a consistent habit. And this is something that I am still working on now, and I take a lot more seriously because I realized over those last 10 months of being around people who, told me in a roundabout way that I wasn't doing enough or I could never do enough, that I was internalizing that, and then I was projecting it onto my business. And then I would approach everything like, oh, I'm not that good of a coach, or, I can't, be a good leader. And I didn't realize I was doing it, but now that I am more purposeful in what I'm telling myself and the professional or the personal development that I'm doing, it's helping me realize how much that has played a role in where I am now about my belief in myself and what I'm capable of. So you have to do it. You have to check that bottom box off on your tracker every single day. Number 3 that I want to talk about is your circle. Your circle of coaches, your team, your success partners, whoever you want to call it. You need to be intentional about who you're surrounding yourself with. And you need to make a wise choice on who you might want to team up with so that you are working with people who are forcing you to level up. Because when I was in the lowest of the low, I had my success partners who are just killing it in our chat. And it forced me to every day show up because I didn't want to let them down. It doesn't feel good when you see everyone else showing up and killing it and you're not doing it. So you need to make sure that you are focusing on people who are going to help you make positive change and help you continue to push forward, because you don't want to be investing your time with people who are going to feed into where you're at, because it's the worst thing that you can do, because then it's just going to be a pit of negativity, and you already got that in your life. You don't need that. You need positivity, because you're working on getting yourself out, right? And I had probably the most pivotal conversation on our Success Club trip. And I don't know if Lisa Zabo is on this call, but I sat during our cruise one night with her, and she is also a former teacher and was in a similar situation that I was in. And we talked about, you know, like she just listened and helped me kind of validate what I was feeling, that I wasn't crazy, that I deserved to, you know, remove myself from that situation, that I didn't have to be there. And she really helped me ultimately to make the decision to resign from teaching and to pursue coaching full time, and helped me see that I can make this work and that I am capable of doing that. So, and it's really what I love about our team, about, you know, Beachbody as a whole, is just we're a family. We're here to help each other through those ups and downs and support one another through all, you know, roller coaster parts of life. And I think that's really, really important, especially when you are struggling with something as difficult. And like, I can't speak to every single person on here what you might be going through, but if you have a good circle of friends, you're going to get through it, because they're going to support you in positive ways. Okay, so those are kind of the three aspects that I want to talk, and I do want to kind of respect your guys' time and not because I could ramble on forever. But ultimately, I just want you to understand that what you are going through is temporary. It's a season, and you just have to understand that you will eventually come out on the other side a much stronger person. And as much as I struggled through the school year, and as much as it felt so satisfying handing in my resignation at the end of May, I am not bitter about that experience, because I know it was put in my path for a reason. And I know that if maybe I didn't experience something like that, that I wouldn't be here and wouldn't be able to appreciate what coaching can really do and the potential that all of us can really have in this business if we choose to show up and we choose to not give up on ourselves even when it gets hard. Okay? So I hope that kind of, you know, lifts your spirits if you are experiencing something similar or you're just kind of in a little slump. But I don't know if anyone has any questions. I think the chat was like just blowing up here a couple minutes ago, so I'll go check. But oh, see, oh my goodness, see, this chat is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why I love our team, and I'm just so happy that you guys take time to pop on these, because I think every single one of these calls just lights my fire, and just seeing everyone's faces, it just makes it real. It's so easy to just kind of hide behind the computer screen and not really feel that connection. But when you hop on these calls and you see everyone, and you know, everyone's just supporting one another, it makes me smile. So I don't see any questions. So Is there anything else you want me to?
Oh, I mean, seriously, I think you literally just nailed it. Can everybody literally just be like blowing up the chat? Do some stories and tag Kaylee. Like, this was what I think all of us needed, right? Because you see, we're all real. We're a family. Like, there's not one person, doing something special. It is just consistent work. And I asked Kaylee to speak. She was like, what should I talk about? I'm like, this, we are real people. And this is what makes us, successful. Success only comes from the many failures that we face and we get back up and we keep going. That's where success is from. The creating the habits, I of course took notes, like, because Kaylee's a rock star. Creating the habits, and that starts with your tracker. That starts with your personal development. She does, girl. She will message me. And like, if she's in a little funk or whatever, I can tell. Y'all, I've been doing this for 6.5 years. I can tell when somebody is in a funk. So if she messages me, I'm like, what personal development are you doing? And I know she's like, I knew she was going to ask me that. That's how I've gotten her consistent with that personal development stuff. Kaylee, what's your Insta handle? Type it in the chat for them. They're all asked. And, and it is. And I feel that these Monday night calls are critical for business growth, because I've never missed these. This is what I live for. It's my tribe is on all at once, and I love that. And making your list. So something that really stuck out to me that Kaylee pointed out was when she was pushing for that premiere. It is just about making a list, and it's like, okay, well, I need 3 people in this spot. I need 4 people over here. I need to do a post about this. It's just like mapping it out so you can like cross it off and move on to the next thing. And did you notice how she said, I was only focusing on hitting Success Club? Guys, there's such a different piece of this business puzzle when we tell ourselves, which was, part of number 2, the mindset. When we tell ourselves that Success Club is non-negotiable, it's going to happen as you are focusing on these goals that you get to make it fun and get to make it your challenge group better and get to recruit coaches. That's the biggest piece that I can just like say, take a step back, stop saying I'm just trying to hit Success Club, and tell yourself there's no other option. Success Club is going to happen. So by doing my tracker, by doing these goals that I'm setting, by, reaching out to these dream team list of people who I really want to work with, this is what I'm working for. Does that make more sense? Like, the second you stop that questioning if Success Club is going to happen, or if you're going to get to Emerald, or if you're going to get to Diamond, or if you're going to recruit these people, this business becomes a business and it becomes fun, and you surround yourself with your circle, which was number 3, and your tribe becomes your tribe because you're showing up and you're doing what's expected to grow a business. All right. So that's how we all come together in this community. It's leveling up. Literally, Kaylee, as you said the word level up, in my head, I was like, level up. And you said it. And I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we all have to level up here. Okay. So, guys, I hope that this call was as awesome for you as it was for me. Kaylee, thank you so much for your time. And I just appreciate every single one of you. So, any other questions before we head out the door tonight so you guys can go spend some time with your fans?
Thank you guys for all the love.
Awesome. You lit a fire. Yes. Everyone, you better have a fire. Like, I'm not going to bed now, right? I have all of my lists out and I'm like, I'm fired up. Like, I am Monday night and Tuesday night are work nights because I get so fired up from these calls. Yes.
And the way I look at things now, if I could show up then, I sure as heck can show up now, because I'm in a lot better place. So there cannot be more excuses. Like, no more.
Awesome. Right. Remember, you are what you repeatedly do, and you are exactly who you repeatedly tell yourself you are. Okay. So my challenge to every single one of you tonight is to level up, is to stop saying, I have to hit Success Club, or I don't know if I'm going to hit Success Club, or I don't know if I can get to Diamond. I don't know if I can. And you start your positive affirmations right now. You wipe that slate clean and you say, my goal is Diamond this week. My goal is Emerald tomorrow, because Emerald can happen like right now. You're on fire. Go message 2 people and be like, you are signing up, Taylor and Brittany. You are ready to go right now. We are going to do this. When you come at someone like that, they like feel your energy and they're like, heck yes, I don't know what I'm signing up for, but let's do this, right? Go and make this happen for yourselves, for your families, for your future, so you can be the one speaking to your teams and lighting the fire for them as well. All right. So we will see you guys back here next Monday. I hope you have a great week. Bye, guys.